representatives from the Parliament of Canada visited this country's legislature from March 16th to the 17th, 2015. The 7-member delegation included Senator the Honourable Leo Housakos, Speaker of the Senate and member of the Conservative Party of Canada. He was accompanied by Senator David Wells, Senator Grant Mitchell, Senator Panna Merchant, Senator Ann Cools, Miss Betty Unger, and Miss Marie-Eve Belzile. During their tenure on our Twin Island Republic, the representatives paid courtesy calls on both presiding officers of the Parliament, the Speaker of the House, the Honourable Wade Mark, and the President of the Senate, Senator the Honourable RAZIAH AHMED. They continued to hold discussions with our parliamentarians during their visit. They also attended a dinner hosted by the Trinidad and Tobago branch of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. Before leaving our shores, Senator Leo Housakos was interviewed by the Parliament Channel 11. How will this visit help to strengthen ties between the two countries' parliaments?
We're here on a parliamentary diplomatic mission, and for us it's essential, of course, that diplomacy is carried out between the executive branches of government, but in any democracy, parliamentary diplomacy is an essential element in helping create bonds between people, between parliamentarians, to better help understanding of what our strengths and our weaknesses are, both from a bilateral point of view, a multilateral point of view, and of course Canada, Trinidad and Tobago, we share the hemisphere and we have some trade issues that are in common, we have some political issues that are in common, and of course we have a long cultural history and background. We're both Commonwealth countries. Even though we've decided to take different roads in achieving our independence, we have deep-rooted historical background that unites us.
Can you provide any details on the discussions that have taken place during your visit?
We've had a number of meetings with officials of Parliament, with the Speaker of the House of Representatives, with the President of the Senate. We had meetings with your Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Trade, Commerce, Investment and Communications, as well as a meeting with the Leader of the Official Opposition. The discussions were very fruitful. I have the privilege of leading a very distinguished group of senators from Canada who have all found the exchanges very interesting. We've gotten to learn a little bit more than we already know about this great country. We hope they have had an opportunity to also benefit from our exchanges, and I think only through these exchanges will we continue to strengthen our ties between our two great countries.
Based on your background in communications, what are some of the communication tools that can be used to better connect to the citizens?
Well, I think the 21st century is one of rapid change in the communication world. Communication platforms are changing at a lightning speed rate. Just a few years ago, we didn't have a thing called the iPad, for example. We didn't have a thing called social media. I think more than ever before, Parliament and democratic institutions need to reach out to compete for the eyes and minds of citizens, and to be able to engage them and to excite them about the democratic process and about empowering them in using their institutions in order to improve our daily lives. So when you look at the changes in communications from a perspective of platforms, like I said, and technology, we have to be as innovative as ever before to compete for the eyes and the hearts of people. On the other side of the equation, of course, because you're able to rapidly communicate with people, rapidly be able to reach past their living rooms through TV sets and radios right now. You can touch them through their iPads, their cell phones, their iPhones. I think it's an added edge, an added value. It's not a question of making it more difficult. It's a question of just making it different when it comes to how we communicate with our citizens. And the whole world of media and communications is evolving. And of course, our institutions have to work within those parameters. So I think there's a lot that can be done, and I know that your government is doing it, as ours is doing the same thing, to adjust to the ever-changing environment of communications.
What has the Canadian Parliament done to become better connected to its citizens?
Well, a big thing is using social media. Having comprehensive websites is one of the #1 things. I think we can do a lot more, quite frankly, from a digital perspective. I think all governments are ahead of the learning curve when it comes to the digital economy and digital communication. So, like I said, I think we could be using platforms where we can communicate our committee work, legislation, in a more interactive way with the population. We've seen what social media has done in various electoral campaigns around the world. President Obama has used it so successfully in his elections. And of course, many savvy politicians around the world are communicating directly with masses of people with one switch of a button or one tap of a button. So our government has gone a fair distance right now in improving the way we use digital communications through our websites, through our web hashtags that we use to promote our committees. But I think a lot will even come. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff coming in the next few weeks and months in terms of technological change that we don't even know about right now.
How can parliaments encourage more citizen participation in the decision-making process?
You can use technology to reach out to people. You can find innovative ways to reach out to people. I think inevitably people have to just understand that they have to engage in their political process. Democracy only functions when people participate. And I keep telling people that we politicians in whatever country in the world are always victims of a lot of cynicism and a perspective from the public that always holds politicians to account at a standard that might not be always so realistic. But I think it's easy to criticize. I think it's easy to condemn. But I think all citizens have to understand democracy works when they participate. And you can participate at various ways. You can participate in your local school board elections back in Canada and municipal elections. You can participate in your regional governments here in Trinidad and Tobago. You can go to symposiums, seminars, educate yourself. Take in as much information as you can in garnering an opinion that is balanced and beneficial. And then don't be afraid to express that opinion. And express it in a positive way. Express it within the institutions at play. Call your local officials and have an intelligent, calm discussion about things that you find are unfair, unjust. Don't stay home, shake your head and say, well, that is the way it is and we can't do anything about it. Citizen participation, I think, is the most important thing, even above and beyond technology. It's a basic principle when the ancient Greeks invented democracy, and it's a basic principle today in 2015. Without the public participating in their institutions, the institutions cannot function effectively.